When Daniel Cormier and Anthony Johnson meet for the second time at UFC 210, it will be a fascinating matchup of styles, Olympic wrestler versus knockout puncher. But it will also be a matchup of wills, a test to determine who has the mentality of a champion and who will be relegated back to the ranks of the contenders. MMA is an extremely unpredictable sport, but if this were perfect fiction instead of frustrating reality, if I were writing the story of this titanic conflict, Daniel Cormier would retain his title. Cormier has always been a tough man. Some might even call him stubborn. As a youngin' growing up in Tennessee, he excelled in the sport of wrestling, despite the fact that the volunteer state has never been known for its wrestling programs. Cormier built a style on physical strength, rock-solid fundamentals, and sheer perseverance. It took him to 2 NCAA Division I national championships, and though he never finished first, he was always impressive. DC carries on this habit of hard work and dogged determination in the UFC, where only the greatest light heavyweight of all time has managed to defeat him, and not without a hard fight. So why would I choose Daniel Cormier as my protagonist over Anthony Johnson, a thrilling knockout artist who has taken most of the light heavyweight division by storm since his UFC return in 2014? Well, let's set aside the fact that Cormier has already beaten Johnson once. Anything can happen in a fight, and Johnson is no less dangerous today than he was then. And at the risk of being far too charitable, we'll also set aside Johnson's history with violence against women, ranging from his no-contest plea to a charge of domestic violence in 2009, to an encounter in 2015 wherein he ripped a yoga mat from underneath a woman at his local gym before throwing it across the room, just punishment for someone who dared to stretch in an area reserved for lifting weights. For the simple version of this story, we only have to look at Anthony Johnson, the fighter. In Johnson's second UFC fight in 2007, he was submitted via rear naked choke after failing to get a finish in the first round. The same thing happened when he fought Josh Koscheck in 2009, and again against Vitor Belfort in 2012. And when Rumble squared off with Daniel Cormier in May of 2015, history repeated itself. He stunned Cormier with a thunderous right hand, only for the Olympic wrestler to drag him down and force him to tap. Determination is a quality we lionize for good reason. If fighters are supposed to inspire us, then surely the most inspiring are those who get hit and fight back, who show no fear and fight through adversity whenever it rears its head. Anthony Johnson has had numerous opportunities to overcome adversity in his MMA career, and he has never prevailed. Daniel Cormier, even in his losing efforts, has always proven the quality of his character. Cormier has a true fighting spirit. So if things go my way at UFC 210, if this story concludes the way I want it to, Daniel Cormier will retain his belt and reign on as a true champion, both in and outside the cage.